I've managed to watch almost all the horror films that were released this year, which is odd for me. I watch films years after they've come out, but this year I was better. I was also very happy this year because of this. While I haven't liked a lot of the films I've watched, I've enjoyed the time I've spent with each and every one of these horror films, even the bad ones. I love horror films. I really love horror films. And if it weren't for horror films, my film watching experience would be cut in half. So I sat down and I thought about all the horror films I'd watched this year, and there were a lot of good ones, but I picked 7 that I really like. Starting off with The Monkey, which is an absurd story, a comical story about a monkey that comes to life and causes a series of things to happen that eventually snowballs into the death of some random person in the vicinity of the monkey. The film is based on a short story by Stephen King, and I haven't read this short story yet. I don't know why. But it's based on the short story, and Osgood Perkins, who wrote and directed the film, does a brilliant job bringing his own interpretation, his own tone to the story that I'm sure is nothing like what Stephen King imagined. The ending of the film left me a bit uncertain about how I felt about the film, but I think overall I really liked the film. I have a longer, more detailed take on the film on this channel. I'll stick the link to that below. When I first watched the trailer of Toxic Avenger, I was put off by the disfigured skin, misshapen head, gross deaths, and general horribleness of the film. I'd also mentioned in a previous video that I wouldn't be watching the film. But then the film came out and I decided, even though I thought I was going to regret my decision, to switch the film on and watch it. And I sat through the whole film and I really liked it. I actually liked the film. Everything gross I thought I'd see in the film, I'd only perceive. There's nothing gross about this film. The film looks like a low-budget horror film, but I suspect it isn't. It has big stars like Peter Dinklage, Kevin Bacon, Elijah Wood, and the story seems like it was written by someone who actually understands how a story works. This isn't a low-budget film, it only feels like one. In fact, it's a splendid film, and everyone should go watch it. A woman goes on a date, gets a phone call telling her she must kill her date. If she doesn't, her son, who's at home, gets killed. This is the plot of Drop, and it sounds like it's a very by-the-numbers horror film. It's not. I watched the trailer and I knew I was going to have fun watching this film, and then I watched the film and it was fun. It's a fun film that really delivers a great setup, and all the tense moments a horror or thriller film is supposed to deliver. The ending falls short a little, but not enough to take away everything great about this film. Again, I have a review of it on this channel. The link will be in the description. Go watch it. Coyotes is not a film that will be remembered years after. It's not a film that does anything especially good with what it has, but it's a good film. It's a great film. You'll remember it fondly after it's done. Justin Long and Kate Bosworth with their daughter Chloe get trapped in their really beautiful house when a storm breaks out and cuts them off from the rest of the world. Trapped because there are coyotes hunting people outside their house. What follows is a fun journey of trying to stay out of the jaws of these coyotes and succumbing to a rather horrible death. I like Justin Long a lot. That's probably why I like Coyote so much. But it's a fun film in spite of Justin Long. I had one complaint about the film Companion, and I've talked about it in a longer video here on the channel. I'll stick the link below somewhere. But briefly, the one complaint I have is that robots cannot have intelligence or emotions quite like human beings. And this is the opposite of what we see in Companion and other similar films. But this complaint didn't stop me from enjoying Companion, which is a fun film about Jack Quaid and his robot companion. A companion that is forced to do horrible things and faces the possibility of termination. The film explores all kinds of things like gender dynamics, free will, discovery of self, corporate control, and a bunch of different ideas. I like the film, I love the film, and I'd recommend it to everyone who's willing to listen to me. The Long Walk is apparently a horror film, but I didn't really see any horror in the film. Unless they were talking about the horrors people inflict on one another, in which case The Long Walk is a truly terrifying piece of fiction. The Long Walk is a dystopian film set during a time of economic depression in which 50 young men are made to walk for days until only one man is left still walking. The rest are all killed. This is a surprisingly moving film in which I felt my heart break several times. There isn't much of a plot here, more how each of the contestants reacts to living or dying or finally admitting that they hate the ruling class of soldiers and want to spit in their faces. This is a beautiful film. It's a beautiful film that Stephen King wrote and Mark Hamill acted in, and I think this film deserves a whole lot more attention than it got. Vampires aren't my favorite monsters, but a lot of great films are about vampires. The Lost Boys, the 1998 Vampires film, From Dusk Till Dawn, 30 Days of Night, which was a comic book first, but still. Vampire films have always fascinated me, and I was pretty sure I'd like Sinners. I didn't really have much confidence in Ryan Coogler after Black Panther because Black Panther felt very much like a Marvel film, and I'm not a big fan of the Marvel films. But then I watched Sinners and I absolutely loved the film. So much so that I couldn't even come up with a decent video about it to upload on this channel. The same thing happened to me with the film Kill. I think you just have to watch a film like this and never attempt to make a homage video about it. Sinners is a great exploration of black culture, a theme that went way over my head because I understand nothing of that culture. It's an exploration of black music. It's a film about cultural appropriation. And all of these themes are woven brilliantly into the story. A story that is just brilliant. I don't know what else to say about Sinners really, so I won't. Go watch Sinners if you haven't already. And if you don't like the film, then let's not be friends anymore. And that's about all the horror films I watched and loved this year. There are a whole bunch of films that were released that I never really got the opportunity to watch. I hope I get to watch them soon, and I hope I get to talk about those films. Let me know what films you watched and loved and think should be on this list. In the future, I'll probably stick those films in a list somewhere. But that's all for this video. Have a good one. Bye-bye.